Hey, Shalom. I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutations, and blessings to the elect who firmly believe on Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Now, the title of this lesson is going to be Measure the Time Diligently. Measure the time diligently. And I pretty much have this article here, focusing on the government shutdown. Now, this is actually big news and, in a prelude to the downfall of this society, because if this is not actually the last time the government actually shuts down, it's actually a shadow of things to come. Now we know that ultimately, the downfall of this society is going to be when they mandate that chip, the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, and once they start mandating, that prophecy, it's only a matter of time before we get out of here. But these prophecies and these events that are actually happening within our current events, these news, it allows us to measure the time that we actually living in. So I have this article here from CNN Politics News. It says Trump's shutdown nightmare, a choice between the economy and the wall. Because ultimately that's what it's going to boil down to, is Donald Trump going to get his $5 million funding, for the wall, or is he going to, end the government shutdown and help the economy? Real quick, getting into this article, it says if the government shutdown lasts much longer, because I believe they're going on their 27th day, right? It says if the government shutdown lasts much longer, President Donald Trump's only way out may involve a choice between two pillars of his political viability: his border wall and his purring economy. More and more Americans are feeling the effects of the partial shutdown every day, from travelers stuck in security lines to Coast Guard officers now joining the hundreds of thousands of federal employees going without pay. Yet the normal political pressure points that usually end shutdown standoffs are not working, perhaps because of the unique dynamics of the Trump era. As a result, there's every chance that the stalemate now in its 27th day could drag on much longer. And that's beautiful. The Lord is finally applying pressure on these American citizens, because they live deliciously. They've been comfortable. They scoff and scorned against the prophets. So now the Lord is applying pressure, on their society. It says Trump told supporters on Tuesday, for example, we're going to stay out for a long time if we have to. So the Lord got the right person in office, because he means what he say and he says what he means. If they don't come to an understanding or an agreement or even a negotiation, look, the government is going to continue to shut down, and that's a good thing about being on the bottom. You're not too much affected when you're at the bottom, because we've been on the bottom. But like they say, the harder you climb in this society, the harder you're going to fall. You got a lot of people that get these government jobs and feel like that they're safe and secure, when in actuality, they the first ones, to be uncomfortable, those who depend on the government. Senator John Kennedy, who flew on Air Force One with the president on Monday, said Trump is adamant that he's not budging. He is a carnivore, and on this one, he believes he is right. And that's the Lord, working upon his mind. It says in another sign, the impasse could be extended. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi asked the president to move the day of the Senate of the Union address, now set for January 29th, or deliver it in writing because of overstretched securities agencies. And Donald Trump actually canceled her flight, going overseas, because he pretty much voiced it, something alluding to the government. But with the government being shut down, her flight is going to have to be postponed. And he advised that she should actually be in Washington negotiating with him. So he's the devil. He's the devil that the Heavenly Father set up to be in office, man. A stern devil. It says a White House official familiar with preparations told CNN's Jim Acosta Wednesday night that at this point, Trump still plans to deliver the speech as scheduled on January 29th. Shutdowns usually end when either side, the president or Congress, begins to feel unbearable pressure and the cost of going on outweighs the political damage sustained by climb down. Since that pivot point is not yet at hand, longer term factors may come into play. One significant pressure point could be the side effects of the shutdown on economic growth, unemployment, and consumer confidence. If the standoff over the president's demand that Democrats provide 5.7 billion, Salakia, 5.7 billion in wall funding is prolonged, the chances of genuine damage to the economy, one of the unarguably hotspots of Trump's presidency, rise significantly. For the essence of time, you brothers can read the rest of this article, but hey, Donald Trump, he is not budging, man. Donald Trump is not budging, and he's gun-ho on pretty much building that wall, man. He's gun-ho on building that wall, and at the end of the day, may the Lord's will come to pass. May the Lord's will come to pass with him, attempting to build this wall. Real quick, matter of fact, let me grab the scripture. I believe it's in Proverbs 17. Proverbs 17. Is it 17:1? Let me see. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. 1 second. So we in exciting times at this point, man. The Lord is turning things up a couple of notches. And that's why it's important and imperative that we stay involved in this work. Because you don't want to be brought to an open shame, not doing the work with the Lord coming back, man. Here we go. Proverbs 21:1. It says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So here it is. The king of America, for lack of a better term, is Donald Trump. He's the president, of this corporation. So what the heart comes from the Hebrew word lab, which means the mind, which means the mind. So here it is, the mindset of the Lord, what the Lord want the president to do, he's allowing him to do. So what, he's hardening his heart. Just like the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, the Lord is hardening Donald Trump's heart when it comes to this whole government shutdown. He wants his 5.7 billion to build that wall, and he's not budging, as certain excerpts within the article was reading, right? And it says, every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but Yahweh pondereth the hearts, And as I read, it's the article mentioned that Donald Trump feels like this is the right thing to do, as far as building that wall, and he's not going to budge. He's not going to change his mind. He pretty much has his heart set. He pretty much has his mind set, and we're enjoying every bit of it. We have the hope for elect. We are enjoying every bit of it. It's a beautiful thing. Real quick, I don't have the Apocrypha app downloaded on this particular phone, so I'm going to just read 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, so what we're measuring the times, man. What also allows us to measure the time is the RFID microchip, because, like the old saying goes, the brother was dropping his jewel on me, the brother Pasha, as the old saying goes, time is money, and every time the society comes to an end, there's a change of the money system. There's a change within the money system. So the fact that we know that the money system is going to change from a Federal Reserve note to the RFID microchip also indicates the end of an age, the end of this society, the end of the so-called white man's rule, these Edomites. It says, verse 2, then shalt thou understand that it's the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So these are certain prophecies and signs that the Lord is allowing us to see, and the Lord is coming to visit the world which he made. The Lord also visits the world which he made by way of hurricanes, by way of storm, tempests, lightning, things of that nature. That's been happening often. Earthquakes, in diverse places, It says, therefore, when thou shalt be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Now you also have places that are in uproars. They're just not getting any, media recognition, media recognition of it. But there are actually uproars of other people going on around the world. Venezuela actually being one of them. Once upon a time, Mexico. Majority of the people in this country knew nothing about it. So then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings, and wonder and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. And that's what it's about. The only individuals that's going to be saved is the Lord's precious elect. The works and the faith in which we believe. Faith without works is dead. Hey, your work, here it is. You got some Israelites that's going to wake up in the 11th hour. Now they may have not necessarily hit the highways and byways, but the work that they showcase as far as their faith could be not taking that chip, not taking the mark of the beast, So what we in that time, man, things are happening. Things are happening at an alarming rate, man. And you don't want to get caught out there. You got to prioritize, man. Priorities. Put this truth first, and everything else will fall into place, man. Trust me. Matthew chapter 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? When you look up that word world in the Greek, it's eon, which means an age. So what's going to be the end of an age? Not the whole world. And the age is the so-called white man's rulership, these Edomites. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, because they're out here. IUIC are a part of those individuals, ISUPK, GOCC, among other false prophets and teachers. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, which we do see. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. That's all a part of the signs that we're going to see, that alludes to the end of this society. Nation against nation, that's a world war. A Salakia, that's a race war. Kingdom against kingdom, that's a world war. You know, there's going to be famines out here. There's going to be a lack of food and water. We already see pestilences, but that's going to increase. The earthquakes are going to increase. You know, verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. And it's only the beginning. All of those things that the Lord described is only the beginning of sorrows. You know, but it's only going to be sorrowful for 2/3 of our people. You know, because, hey, what the Lord say? While you're weeping, we're going to be laughing. You know, while you're weeping, we are going to be laughing through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know, let me see, find that right quick. What's that, Luke? Yeah. This is Luke. Let's start at 21. Let's start at 20. It says, and he lifted up his eyes on his disciples and said, blessed be ye poor. Blessed be you poor, for yours is the kingdom of the Most High. Blessed are ye that hunger now, for ye shall be filled. Blessed are ye that weep now, for ye shall laugh. When are we going to laugh? We're going to laugh at destruction, man. Pursuing to Job, the 5th chapter. It says, blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. Rejoice ye in that day, and leap for joy. For behold, your reward is great in heaven. For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. You know, and that's why we're excited about these times that we're living in, because great is our reward in heaven. The sooner we go through these perilous times, the sooner we can receive our reward in heaven. And it's going to please the Father to bless us with those rewards. Because at the end of the day, we are unprofitable servants. We're doing what we're supposed to do. But it's going to please the Lord to please us. Just like you have a woman, it pleases you to please her. You know, you feel happy when she feels good. Same way with the Lord, man. But it says, but woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. Woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep. Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets. And and those individuals are starting to mourn. You know, the Lord is, you know, threatening their bank accounts by way of this whole government shutdown. You know, by way of this government shutdown, you got a lot of people being furloughed, a lot of people losing their jobs, and a lot of people being forced to work without pay. You know, that's the beauty of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So all of these things are coming to pass, man. You know, all of these beautiful signs of the Lord is coming to pass. You know, I'm going to close out with this. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision, and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. And that's what we do. We break it down the scriptures. We making it plain. Brothers got banners. Brothers got videos of edification, making it plain. So what? Those watching can receive the message and spread the message. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. You know, all the visions, meaning the chip, which is the mark of the beast, you know, the pestilence, the famine, World War III, and even the great deliverance. It's all for an appointed time. But it says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Why? Because the prophets is going to be speaking about it. The Lord said for he sent the apostles last. The apostles are the ones speaking on the end. The apostles are the ones speaking on the coming destruction. The apostles are the one warning you of these perilous times to come. And the Lord is going to also allow it to speak in action form. You know, because he also says, before they spring forth, I'll tell you of them. So the Lord is speaking through us, and the Lord's going to bring it to pass. And that's how you're going to know we were and are the true men of the Lord, the true prophets. And it says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry, you know? So hold on to your seatbelts, man. You know, we living in exciting times, and we also got to realize, hey, the disciples were excited for these things to happen and to come to pass, man. The disciples were ecstatic and happy. And that's furthermore confidence. If you're excited that these things are actually happening, there's a good chance that you are one of those disciples back in the day that were waiting for these times, like the spirit, the spirit thereof, because the true men of the Lord are going to be happy that their ruler is coming out of power, despite the tribulation that they have to go through in order to receive, the kingdom of heaven. The Lord told us in Acts 14:22, through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom, So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. We're constantly watching the news, brothers reading articles, measuring the time diligently, and it also boosts our faith. It's important because the less you in the spirit, the less faith you're going to have, man. And that's just plain. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutations, and blessings to the elect. Shalom.